InShalla and Ashe. As always, blessings to you, my energetic beings. So the main character on the stage today is one of paying gratitude to our dreams, or playing gratitude, even paying and playing. So living the life that we're meant to live. And on Sunday in my musing club, I'm sharing insight into manifesting our dreams, being that we are in the fire year in the Dagara cosmology. Fire is our dreams, it's our ancestors, it's our visions, it's the other world, etc. So a person born in a fire year is a person of fire. However, fire can be balanced or unbalanced, imbalanced. I tend to say, I tend to just stay on the optimistic side of things, the positive, but also recognizing when somebody's frequencies are, I would just say, mismanaged or having an energetic hiccup or a trivial pursuit or something. But we all know, what negativity is, right, on the other side. So if you're curious, just grab an offering and join me. But with that, welcome to today's Daily Snippet. Once again, I am your host. I'm a practicing holistic Sha'medium and subtle energetic surgeon. My thing is to merge these indigenous technologies, the wisdom of the Dagara tribe in Burkina Faso, with the subtle energies, elements, elemental beings, taking things from the elemental realm into the imaginal realm and further. But I have offerings, rituals, and prescriptions to add to your own personal juice in your container, your essence, your vessel. But really, I really love to merge these indigenous technologies with these subtle realms, what I call the etheric highway, which is a place, a starting ground for me. But just to really assist you into navigating your prime directive, your inner genius, just reintroducing you to the magical being that I believe resides within each and every one of us. My name is Tonya D, and as always, welcome to my virtual medicine room. And if you haven't already, please be kind and do subscribe to my YouTube channel, Tonya D. Pretty much everything's Tonya D, but hit the bell if you're doing so you're notified. And also, if you don't mind, like my videos, comment, share, so the algorithm on YouTube can really echo me out and suggest me to like-minded musers in our galactic universe, as galactic and juicy as she is, along with other social channels like Instagram, TikTok, and my podcast, Musing with Tonya D, which is also super exciting. But this weekend, there will also be no snippets because I'm doing Voices of the Otherworld, the Immersion. This weekend, we're going into the elemental of mineral and metal, our verbal intuition, clairaudience, the voice, the gift, do you hear voices, along with sigils, signs, shapes, and so much more. But the moon today is in Gemini in the season of Pisces. So it's opening the door to accepting new ideas for our spiritual growth, our living style, which is inspired by spirit. So just awakening to the insight of our higher mind and communicating with spirit, bringing love, peace, joy, serenity, all the virtues, the positive ones, but while also at the same time possibly heightening our psychic awareness, our spidey senses. So the message of today, due to it bringing or being a day to bring in the insights, these manifestations, all the way down from the crown into the earth star. We kind of started this journey yesterday when we came from the crown to the root center, but the earth star is nature. It's working in resonance with our root center as well. So we have this ability to trust and love our assets of our manifestation today. So with the influence of spirit guiding our ideas. So it's really a pretty magical day, really. Also, just to take it up a notch, Mercury, our mind, is also entering into the season of spirit. So maybe Sandalphon, angelic Sandalphon, the archangel, will inspire some ideas through song, music, art, or poetry today, creative assets. So I would say be brave as we courageously move forward with that connection. And it really is not a bad idea to protect our thoughts as well. How? Just by being in that observation station, being curious and questioning everything as the thoughts float by. You might even become more etheric on that highway. And just watching the streams when does your heart light up, and take the action from a place of love. It's like a cuddle buddy with the mind in time and space, and taking the pause for peace. Oh, wow. I just went on a Gemini tangent there. The moon and Mercury, in the threads of the mind today, how they're moving. What's a girl to do though, right? But I'm going to bring in the messages from the Fae today. Dun, 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 which is actually super juicy. And we have Ffaff the Footer. He's part of the Fairy Challengers. The ones that bring us face to face with our fears, our denials, inner traumas, delusions, inner securities, confusions, and even our misbehaviors, our actions, our characters. But these are the fae who, metaphorically speaking, will stick out a foot in front of us to see if we're paying attention, or it's almost like stubbing your toe sometimes. So they're testing our alertness, our awareness, our insight, our knowledge, our ancient wisdom, our wisdom in general, and even our dedication to our own personal growth, and being that it's a spiritual day, our spiritual growth. So without them, sometimes we actually become a little lazy. But Ffaff is all about being real, earthy, grounding, centering. So just as life is really becoming surprisingly exciting and very interesting, though not necessarily fun, right? Ffaff, he's like the foot fungus fairy. He comes out to check our feet. Being so, he picks up 1 foot at a time, and he's checking things out between our toes, if you will, smelling for fungus, dirty, untrimmed toenails, stuff like that. So if he finds any of these signs of disrespect for our feet, and for also the Earth Mama, being that the Earth Star is online, walking on her with grubby feet, which are disgusting and ugh, he actually marks them by making holes in our socks. So be sure to check your socks. So if things are really bad, he actually sends other little elemental beings to eat our dancing shoes or any of our shoes. So we then have to walk out barefoot in the dewy meadows under the galactic moon, the stars herself. And if it happens to snow instead of dew, which I do have snow this morning instead, that's just our tough luck. That's kind of how he feels and thinks and senses. But it's a warning though. So Ffaff may have some fungi on his fingers also from somebody else's feet. So if our feet aren't clean, both energetically and physically, the fungi are apt to kind of take root, be rooted. So he leaves our feet up in the air while he's inspecting the other foot. So it's like 1 foot at a time. So they're both kind of lifted up in the air. And having done this inspection, this job that he does, he literally wanders off, leaving us standing there with both feet up in the air. And usually we're a little confused. We have that strange look on our face, and he is snickering. So this really isn't a great position to be in, right? So this is a test. Repeat, this is a test. Like all things, right? It's like the emergency broadcast system that like we have been warned. So this test is to get both of our feet, literally both of our feet, back on the Earth Mama, the terra firma. So don't try to do anything important or make any significant decisions until you have come literally back to Earth. So anything we attempt to do while standing with our feet in the air, mind you, it's not going to work, right? Especially if we're lucky. So if you are unlucky, however, it will work, but not at all in the way that we intended or hoped that it would. So just a quick tip for earthing the fairy way, stroke your feet if you can. You can't see me, but stroke your feet gently and massage them with both hands for like 5 minutes. And you could also check for holes in your socks while you're doing this. Paint your toenails bright red, a cheery, cherry, bright red. When your toes like, woo, they sparkle, right? So when you look at them, and I'm telling you, we probably need to get a pedicure knowing that I pulled this card, but this reminds us to keep them on the ground. Even when we can't see them, it will probably still remind us knowing that they're painted red, right? Especially so if you're a man, by happen. So breathe, ground, and center. That's kind of the message for Ffaff the Footer. Maintain or recover our sanity by literally being earthed and staying earthed. I would kind of do this now. It's important information that can come in that's going to be coming in our way, but we can only receive it properly if our feet are on the ground on Mother Earth in the terra firma, grounded, centered, and our head as well, right? Connected to the rest of our body, being embodied, so we're grounded. So it's the transformative power of the Fae. They can turn the muck into magic, the debris into shining gold, our black despair into crystalline joy. As life grows out of like the aspect of the death, good can actually grow from all of the things that we would actually call bad, right? So an earth offering or ritual, I am sensing already with the moon and the planets already happening, spiritual earth offering or a ritual as well. That's kind of where I'm sensing already with these cards of the day. And then we have Hobyah, of all names, Hobyah. So he too is part of the Fairy Challenger clan, but these are our imaginary fears, our unreal hazards, our realistic caution. And I forgot to add, in the season of Gemini, we also have Black Moon Lilith as well. So our thoughts may become those illusionary fears as well. And we have our emotions, the moon and Mercury, Gemini's ruling planet, and Pisces, which really creates this crossroads, if you will, like a turn around the corner, you know. But Hobyah, he refuses to share what the G in his name means. That's kind of his character. Because the more we know about him, the less power he has, and the harder it is for him to actually do his job. So this really kind of tells us a lot about him anyway, energetically. His powers lie in our imagination and our fears, not in the real world, not in any of the real world. So this is like a wicked thing in the closet who keeps frightened children awake at night with eerie snuffling or wuffing sounds or scruffing sounds. But the second we turn on the light and open the door, he really isn't there. And he only exists through the collection of our fears. And Hobyah, he thrives on fears. It gives him more strength and more strength until we face him. So he kind of is a sham. He's like a tiny fear blown out, way out of proportion, if you will. So the smallest positive thought will actually banish him. So all of the Fae in the land, they all know this, and none of them are actually afraid of him. But his job is to wave our imaginary fears in front of us, making them look alive, making them look real as he can. And he's actually pretty good at this. But the challenge that he's offering us, which is super magical really, is to see the certain fears of ours, seeing them as they are imaginary, and to distinguish them from things that we actually really truly need to be cautious about. And in this way, he tries to teach us to just literally look past our fear and see the real, the true, the truth, whatever that truth is. So it's kind of a difficult job for him, Hobyah, the Pook, Gotcha, the Fae Lion, and a few other hardworking Fae. They all get together actually twice a week, the Fae, the realm, for otherworldly nectar, hazelnut, cheese, and applesauce. You could actually do that as an offering, but they do this and they grumble about humanity, humans, and they also do it to support each other. So the work that they do, hard as it is, actually, it's merely an apprenticeship for the much harder work for which they get to wear a star crown, which is actually their ultimate goal. Like Aponya's wild daughter, I've talked about her, Lies of the Shadows. So it takes a lot of practice, and it also takes a lot of skill in dealing with our flaws, human flaws, to get promoted actually to that level. So if you could hear the stories that they do tell. So it's a message for a time, or taking the time, if you will, to look for the truth behind our fears, to distinguish between what is real and also what is just our projection of all the traumas, the fears, into our imaginary future, if you will. By delving into our old patterns, we can then see past them and be more liberating in our life, only by facing these fears honestly and seeing them for truly what they are, the illusion, right? That's when we do gain a greater ability to open up our hearts to the singer of courage and gain in strength to face the really difficult challenges in our lives. So each false fear that we confront and resolve really makes us so much, much more stronger. And guess, this, just to add to the sauce, the final message, kind of guess who that's from. Dun, 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 dun. Bingo, there we go. To add to the sauce, we have the singer, not the singer of courage that I just chatted about, but the singer of initiation. And just remember that the singers are the great ones. Their wingspan the multiverse and all dimensions and all times and space, and they have a multitude of human given names, from angels, divas, guardians, dakinis, and many others, whatever fruits you can think of. And it really doesn't matter what we call them. They really, truly, truly, authentically hope that we will just call upon them. They are the singers of the underlying song of the galactic universe. Even to the Fae as they are to us, They truly are the great ones, the ones who show us in all the realms what we have, the potentials, the unlimited potential to ultimately become. They also assist us to move in that direction, just comforting us when we fall off our path. And they're constantly with us all the time. Their energy and their compassion, they're always available when we are in need. All we have to do literally is to ask them for help, for assistance, and then just be aware of the events and the insights that are following our request. But being that we have this message today, really, we need to acknowledge the presence of the singers in our lives and ask for help, the help that they can give to us and for us, and to be open to this guidance, to be receptive to the power, the essence, the energy that it's going to be offering us. And also, more importantly, express our gratitude for their assistance. Thanking the singers is really important to us because it completes the circuitry, it balances the frequencies, it grounds their energies into the physical world. So we and others can also benefit from this energy. It's like a gift. Unacknowledged is a gift neglected. It's not used. It's unused. It still sits in the package. So it's true gratitude that we accept their song into our own beingness, into our own lives. And when we open up ourselves through prayer, meditation, or love to these singers, the insight, the flow of love, we're allowing their essence to literally flow through us, down through the crown and bubble out. But with the singer of initiation, so this is a passage through trial, triumph, a new level. The singer of initiation brings this major transition between the old and the new as we prepare to pass through any gate. So we are greeted by this singer, the initiation, who tests us to see if we are ready to enter into the realm, or whether for our own safety actually and our own well-being, we must stay where we are. So there's no initiation that we don't have without testing, and testing must take us to our limits in order to be valid. So initiation is not just a charming ritual with candles and incense and other kind of occultish paraphernalia, witchy stuff. But true initiation is grounding into material reality, and it extends through our body, our mind, our emotions, our spirit, etc., and our soul. So this testing occurs on all of the levels of our beingness, and the more profound the change being processed, the more rigorous the test is going to be. However, these initiations, they are only given when the singer knows that we actually have the potential, the ability, the opportunity to kind of pass them. So, and if we pass the initiation that this particular singer is offering us, we are then strengthened by the process itself. And in working through it, we then learn something about ourselves, the magic that resides within us. And we finally and irrevocably, from one way of being to another. So when we stand in the gateway of initiation, it's often difficult to tell where we are even going, right? So this process may feel like a loss, then like movement into a new level of being. So prayer for insight really helps, but a great deal of the process really is about discovering and showing what we already can do. So this is like an awakening. This is a test. One that's requiring much, if not all, of our inner resources and our innate wisdom. It kind of demands that we go beyond, like swimming through the sea, what we have achieved before, instead of asking things like, why me? Or when is this going to end? Try asking, how can I do this better? How can I handle this more wisely than I ever have before? So this singer suggests kind of these types of questions in my experience. It's like, how can I handle this differently, more creatively? Is there another point of view that I have never looked at before, right? What golden door is being offered to me to explore with this apparent problem, right? Or is it even a problem at all? Sometimes we create our own chaos. And I really love when the messages are in alignment with the cosmic energy as well. So I say earthing, the 10th energetic center, the earth star, call in the singer of initiation. The fears are just tests. And I love to challenge my fears personally, but I also have Saturn in Aries. So it's like this warrior hero thing, probably not the best decision at all the time, but it just happens to be what happens, right? Challenge my fears, and I always talk to myself that way. It's like, it's affecting my reality, so I got to shift it. And on the elemental highway, we have a Yin Rooster of a day, a Yin metal stem, and a Yin metal branch. So this is refined metal. It's been through the process of fire to reshape it. It's refined leadership, refined management, jewelry, refined thoughts, even our month is Yin energy, actually. However, our day and our month, the rabbit and the rooster, they clash. They don't get along. They fight. Our day needs support, needs some earth, wet earth. Being that wood is prosperous in the month of the rabbit, Yin metal is actually, it's solid today, but it's also weak. And the yang water brings polish to our day, making it shiny. But being that our day is solid, it has this like-minded element right below it. So if this was a client's chart, I would say that their partner is an ally, a support, a friendly, not an enemy. But the parents, or at least one of the parents, don't really like the partner. They're in a clash, right? So there's like rubbish happening, kind of interesting. But since this isn't a client, and I'm using about our day, if you will, wet earth is going actually to make our day stronger, but too much would actually bury it under the ground. And yang earth is actually useful, and we have some of that in the year branch, but it's in storage. But people under Yin metal embody the glittering metal, the precious stones. So just imagine a jewelry catching the light, sparkling in that light. So they have superior taste. They feel like they deserve the best in life. So our day is radiating this elegance, this luxury. But Yin metal people, you know, they're careful in choosing the people that they actually associate themselves with. So people under this frequency, this sign, they're not afraid of taking center stage. They're the one to look for a way to receive the attention. They love the spotlight. So these people are attractive in the physical and the intellectual sense, even if they cave in with a bit of flattery. They know when they are being played, and they have the tendency to literally to scare people off because they can be vocal with their anger, but in truth, they care about others more than they actually let on, as they're selfless by nature. So these people may appear stubborn, but they put a high premium on their relationships. So if they have a sufficient reason to, they will give in and they will stand down, but their minds are wired to literally to think differently. So one thing about Yin metal people that is very impressive is the way that they come up with impeccable solutions to problems. They come up with these ideas that are unique, but they're also doable. So it just makes them really a great asset in respective fields. But this is like, it's mental agility. It comes with a price. And these people, sometimes they're often moody. They have an affinity for luxurious things, even as lovers of luxurious stuff, you know, the best. They want the best. They want the best that the world can offer. So they're kind of predisposed to greed or being materialistic. And given this nature, they can actually be tagged as gold diggers. But when they're kept under control, if you will, this can serve as a motivation to actually do more. So they have this constant need to kind of save face, if you will. So to a Yin metal person, self-image is very important, and they will do what they can to ensure that their reputation will not be polluted in any way, dragged through the mud, if you will, dirtying them up. They kind of are the vainest element of all. They're willing to make even the wrong decisions just to protect their image, if you will. And they have a tendency to make emotional choices. So people under this sign can be so emotional at times that their logic is blinded by their feelings, leading them to make choices based on that, the emotions. But when they're faced with choices, which they can't grasp completely, they might feel lost. And if that's the case, they have to act on their instinct, their internal ancient wisdom, which will work out well for them actually, because their gut feelings often lead to the good and the gooder choices. But they thrive on praise as well. So people with Yin metal on the day stem, the day match the sign, they feel more confident when they receive the compliments. But also in the same note, when they're humiliated, they will not let go of that either easily. So although they do try to hide it, they become weak. They lose their confidence within themselves when they are criticized. So they even have a desire to look attractive physically and even mentally. So they thrive on being stylish, if you will, and they want to look attractive to themselves, not mainly for having a pretty face, but mostly for looking chic or trendy. They feel the need to establish like their own personal brand, if you will. And if they can't achieve that physically, then they're going to try to make up for it through their mental, their mind, the progress of the intellect. And they tend to be talented kind of extroverts. People belong to this element. They flaunt what they have. And since they are naturally gifted and talented, they're really not afraid to show the world what they really can do and bask in the sun or bask in that attention. They really enjoy having others like praise their work and serve literally as their audience. Actually, it helps these people feel more confident. They need to be patted on the back, especially about themselves. Despite how good these people are at conveying their ideas, they often require the courage to do what really needs to be done. They really are kind of delicate by nature, and you can't count on them to follow through, since they can jump from one choice to another. Shiny things. They remind me of genies, actually. Especially, if there are several good options that they have that they can choose from. They really are more of a talker than a doer, but they're most suited for activities which involve talking and presenting. They're like on the stage. So for the technical and organizational stuff, that's kind of where they might need help. But being that our metal energy is weak, it needs more metal element for balance. Earth on some occasions could provide the strength as well for our day, but only if it's combined with the water, which we have some water. So dry or hot earth will actually make our day brittle, so it may break. Pure water without a lot of earth is going to make it shine and be bright, which is actually favorable for our element of the day. And considering it's the main function that it wants to do is to shine, it really does represent jewelry, precious stones, metals. So therefore, the most important element for them is yang water, which is actually going to make them shine. And the earth element combined with water will create the opposing effect if it's too muddy. So our day is going to react very well, honestly, with yang fire together, because the yang fire kind of takes yang metal and creates the yin metal. It's all about the flow, right? So the yang fire together with the yin, it creates this sensual combination, which is actually creating more sensual and attractiveness for the public eye within that combination. So a common theme for both of those elements, the fire and the yin metal, our day, yang fire though, is they tend to seek the attention. So yang fire likes to be in the center of attention, like the sun, providing sunshine, warmth to the surrounding elements and the planets. So this won't work if the yang fire is weak. If that's the case, it really might lack the necessary energy to affect people. And being that yin metal really likes to shine, like that diamond, a golden ring, being exposed under the spotlight really gives them satisfaction. So if yin metal is somewhat dirty, like for example, if there's really too much wet earth nearby, this effect will be actually lessened, the shiny. So our day really needs water to keep it clean as well in order to shine, which is one of the main purposes of a yin metal frequency and energy. So when these two elements meet, like for example, they're next to each other in the stems, the heavenly realms, they tend to combine, which I haven't talked about combinations a lot, but a combination of elements can actually produce another element, which originally might not even exist in the chart. But the yang fire is going to provide the light, the gentle warmth to our yin metal day. So this process gives birth to the water element, making metal shiny like a piece of high-class jewelry, actually. So it's like basking in this purity and within this glory, impressing and mesmerizing the people around it. So if the water element is being beneficial, it's going to create a powerful setup, one which can actually bring fame, money, power to the person or to our day. So this combination always gives a person this strong sensuality, sex appeal, a kind of charisma, which seems effortlessly to people around them. Most people are really drawn to this radiant energy, this sensuality. So this combination is very suitable actually for those who are working in show business. And out of curiosity, which is fascinating to me anyway when I play with these elementals, but Marilyn Monroe and JFK, they had this combination. The list is kind of endless actually. Lady Gaga has it. But those are like the 3 that popped into my frequency. But we need fire, yang fire, and we also need earth for our day. Yin earth, not a lot, just to stay shiny. So kind of fun, right? So if there's any yin metals out there, and also if you are a yin metal and you do not have yang fire, this is also curious, your mate could have the yang fire on the day, has to be on the day stem, and you then become the powerhouse couple, which is super curious, right? So the cosmic energy of the day, it's like this cosmic spiritual hiccup, not in a bad way, or it could be, but whatever we do say, or even what we do not say, it's going to manifest or set the precedence in our day of reality, building on the energy of yesterday, the cosmic highway. We have this momentum to focus our beacon, our light, on what we trust and what we value, producing and being productive, changing our reality, like positive change for the better. So it's not a matter of just the flow, but it's also the frequency of keeping up the pace. Our heart, the pie in the sky, our heart center, our ability to characterize ourselves. Our heart really is the pie. It's the center of our essence. So grounding our heart, earthing our heart, she is the queen that we should be acting in resonance with. So if our heart isn't satisfied with the course that we are on, this is great, right? The pathway, the journey, the direction. We lose interest. We fade away. We fade into the sunset. And we're no longer that beacon. The clouds are like harvesting our treasure for us. So our heart really needs the light, a treasure, a pleasure, a gift, a virtue, peace, joy, happiness, a sunrise. So you really need to trust and love the creation that your heart desires to manifest. You have to ask yourself that. So I'm a Virgo rising, so I am always hyper aware. I'm shifting and changing constantly. Cell dynamics, they're always shifting and changing. Yours are too, or hopefully they are, because once they become stagnant, we have issues. But seeing the destination, the sunrise, and focusing our attention on what we wish to manifest through our heart chamber, we have this image or this imagination to bring the creation down into the earth plane, and our soul herself is safely arriving to the finish line, the destination. I think of that song of the near our destination. But being that we are in the season of Pisces, it's the spiritual acumen. It's the precedence that's being created, produced, valued, manifested, just taking it up another level. There's no need to look in the rearview mirror, the karmic missteps, be in a state of gratitude for the dance of life. Notice the blessings, even if they felt like a betrayal. Just saying. Be thankful. It really is time to hold space for the outcome. Stay true to your authentic heart. Sometimes people, events, situations, they show up to test our waters. Outside influencers causing those energetic hiccups, the trivial pursuits, where we start to actually doubt our own magic. Flick that shift away and be in your own sacred space, heart directed, and trust that you are a beacon of integrity. You are kind, you are fair. So whatever we focus on today, it's actually going to grow. So focus on where you wish to be, not where you have already been. So imagination, imagine your world. What does your garden wish to grow? And pull the weeds. That's actually what we've been doing. Whether we've been aware of it or not, we've been pulling out and cleaning and cleansing the cosmic cobwebs. Could be people, places, things that really no longer with your spiritual essence, that doesn't resonate anymore. So we are like lightening up the load, if you will, seeing the light on the other side of the darkness or through the darkness. There's always light on the other side, right? So the universe is magical. So with all of that, and I felt like that was a bit, I suppose, I have no idea. However, whoever needed to hear it, heard it, right? So we have the Earth Star, we have the crown, the juice of the golden sun, the messages of the cards, the Fae. So it was super juicy today. We have the spiritual connection down to the Earth Mama. I would affirm that I'm feeling blessed, having faith, trusting, and loving the universal guardian, right? Just have faith. And InShalla and Ashe, we are lightening the load and becoming a light, being in essence our spirit of who we truly are. So with all of that, InShalla and Ashe, blessings to you.